Alright guys, so that was one heck of a pump. That was a lot of fun. We pushed up pretty high. So this, if you follow me on Twitter and you watch my previous video, I was telling people, I posted this 9 hours ago, that I expected this ring to potentially get rejected or get resistance at. And this is the most recent I put up showing how it played out. You can see we got rejected at this ring and we came down. So this is the video. I'll just play a clip of this. This was 2 videos back. You know, you can see this red fib circle here. This has been a lot of the support and resistance going back. This is actually up at the peak as well. So if we do push above this, I think our ultimate point to get rejected, see support and resistance right here. So if we pushed up, you know, we could push up as high as 9,618. And so this is the actual chart. So you can see that when, and I had this on the 4-hour, but you can see that, you know, had we hit this, let me put this on the daily so it looks like it was in the video. So obviously if we would have hit right here, it would have been 9,600 range. If we hit over here, it would be, you know, 9,400. So depending on when you make contact with the ring, depends on what price will be when you get rejected. But as you can see, we got right at this ring and then we got rejected. And again, you know, classical TA can only take you so far. You know, a lot of other people, I was watching some other YouTubers, they were calling for like 9,200. Some people were calling for 10,000. Nobody really knew where this would top out. And of course, you know, I didn't know exactly when we would hit this ring at what point, but I knew when we hit this ring, it was likely we'd get rejected. So again, guys, if you have access to the charts, it's beneficial to you because you know price will, depending on when you hit the ring, depends on what the price will be. But it was pretty neat that it topped out right at that ring. Again, if I go to the 4-hour here, so it is possible. You can see that, you know, this capitulation ring is still in play. Let me zoom out a bit. You can see we found support on it, and then we were finding support right here on this line here. Then when we approach this capitulation ring, you know, we've been finding support and resistance on it moving up. We found resistance repeatedly. When we pushed above it, we had a pump. That's what told me that if we pushed above it again, we'd have another pump. And we went sideways, found resistance on it, we found resistance on this orange ring. So again, guys, pay attention to this ring because it's possible we could ride up this ring to potentially take us back up to, you know, close to 9,566. And you know, here we just moved sideways. You know, this was resistance, so it's possible. I'm going to try to draw this, but you know, it's possible it could be something like this and we continue to find resistance until the point we come down. That's one possible scenario. Or we could continue to, you know, find support on this until the point we break it. And if we do, you know, based on this chart alone, just these 2 rings, your next major support is going to be down here at 7,769. And again, this ring has proved to be a lot of support and resistance. And as soon as we pushed above that, we had a pump. Again, guys, and I'm referencing, let's see here, I have all of these, well, most of these charts loaded up. We're just going to go through and see how some of these played out. I also have peak of the bull run chart. That's this chart, capitulation, Bitcoin capitulation chart, and Bitcoin bubble chart. So this is the other chart. This is where I was saying that when we broke above this orange ring, we'd get a pump. And if we broke above this yellow ring, we could potentially get another pump. And that was based on the fact that when we pushed up above this yellow ring, we had a pump. And again, we pushed sideways, we kept finding resistance underneath this, and we pushed up, had another push up. So again, you know, pay attention. Also, this ring is going to come into play here. You know, I could zoom out, but this ring is here for a reason. So this ring could potentially be a point, it could be a pivot point. That's about 21 hours at current price action. And again, guys, I'll tell you this, and I'll keep telling you, always reference different charts to get an idea of potential points where price could get rejected, you know, potential pivot, push price down. So let's go through. This is a BLX chart, and you can see, you know, again, guys, when I create these fib circles, you know, I created this on the daily or the weekly, so you know, these can be off by a bit, but you can see as soon as we pushed up above this blue ring, we found support on it, we pushed up, we almost got topped out right at this blue ring, and we're moving back down. So, you know, I would pay attention to this blue ring as well. This is going to be you know, this could actually be a pivot point to push us up or down, but it does look like, you know, I think our top, I think we're going to be moving down the channel between these two yellow rings. So I think we're topped out, guys. You know, if we do push up higher, you could expect one heck of a pump. But I do think it's sideways and down from here. We'll have to watch and see what happens. If we do push up, if we do push up, guys, I would pay attention to this BLX chart as potential targets to the upside. This chart here, if we pushed above this, I would expect a major pump. The only thing I have right now that I know that we're respecting is this yellow capitulation ring. So, you know, if we were over here around 9,548 and we pushed above this red ring, you know, and we push straight up, when you know you're respecting a fib circle and you hit it at the inside, at the top, it becomes resistance. So if we shot straight up from here, you would get rejected around 13,258. And I do expect, I think it's more likely we continue sideways and down, and I think the highest point we'll probably go is 9,568. Let's see here. Again, I just loaded these charts up. I just want to see how some of these played out. But do pay attention to this chart. Again, guys, this is the BLX chart right here. This is the peak of the bull run chart. I do have a trend line here that price has been respecting, so you can see we keep getting support on this repeatedly. So if we come down, your first support based on this chart, you can see this ring has proved to be a lot of support and resistance. So if you come down, another support level to look at is around 8,039. We'll just call it 8,000. 8,000 has been we've been at 8,000 going so far back. I mean, we were at 8,000 back here on 16th of May 2019. So, you know, that's your first support level. Again, this is an angle, guys. You can load this up or, you know, draw your own trend line here, but, you know, potentially between 7,254, you know, the halving is right here to 7,598. And if we have you know, more substantial drop, you know, all of these rings are going to be in play. And these right here are the lines in the fib channel. I just extended it out with trend lines. Again, this is where I call the bottom at 3,900. So these trend lines will be support as well as these rings. So, and again, if you have a major drop, you know, look at 5,767. Again, remember, these are at angles. These are just average. 4,363. You know, out here it could be potentially 3,922. There's a lot of rings here. This is 3,115. And guys, if we do have a major drop, you know, this is the ultimate bottom as far as I'm concerned. So, you know, I was telling you 1,800 a while back. $1,800 was what I was looking at for a bottom. The further we go to the right, the higher this, because this is an angle going up. So, you know, if we're way out here and we have a drop, you're looking at 2,039, potentially 2,321. But I do think this is our ultimate bottom, this red ring. So if we have a major drop, I think this is the point where it will be the actual bottom. So do pay attention to the peak of the bull run chart for if we have a major drop. And again, so this would be one chart you could use if we had another major pump. And I like to compare this to another chart. So if let's say we went sideways a bit and we push straight up, so you know that this ring is going to be, you can see that this ring has played a role as a support and resistance. It's been support going right back here, and as soon as we broke it, it came down. So if we do push up, you know that this would be a likely target, 11,570, which, you know, right here happens to be 12,274. There are some gaps, you know, it's possible they could get filled. If we go back here and we pushed up, you know, potentially if we move sideways and push up, could get resistance, you know, 12,049. You know, that's in play with that other chart. I don't expect us to get a pump, guys, but, you know, anything's possible. That's what I'm saying. Use these different charts to give you an idea. If you see that a ring has previously played a role of support and resistance, you know that when you come up, you're going to get rejected at that point. And this is the next trend line above. This is getting really bullish. If you expect us to go higher, you will get rejected at this point. So right here is 12,600, and this goes down, you know, 10,000. So we'll have to watch to see how it plays out, guys. I just want to make you aware. Use different charts for drop targets and potential pumps. This is the Binance chart. A lot of people were actually using this. Guys, I don't know if a lot of you are aware, if you do have access to my charts on the website, let's see here. If you could just click on access charts and you scroll down, I do have a Discord. The invite link's here, and if you're already a member of the Discord, you can just click here to get in the Discord. And again, guys, Discord, we got like thousands of members in here, and we got different channels about different things, but everybody shares different info. I get a lot of emails from people about leverage trading. I do not do leverage trading, but a lot of the guys in here do leverage trading, so if you need help with that, or targets or stop losses, and they, sometimes, I'm not paying attention to a certain chart, so, people in here will say, hey, check out this chart, and they might have something that they're showing, like this guy here is showing the possible head and shoulders. So, I suggest joining this Discord if you haven't already. If you're already a member of the website, you can get access to the Discord. Just go to the charts page, click on that invite link. But again, someone had mentioned they were using the Binance chart. They were sniping this, buying and selling. You see we got topped out right here at this line, and we came down. And this is how I play these guys. I play these on the way down. If we drop down, you can see that we came down and we found support. Well, we dropped below, we found support here, then we pushed back up and we found support on this line. This is a great thing. You know that these lines, if you go back, I know it looks like a complete mess here, but these fib channel lines are based off of fib channel lines down here. So that's why price respects these so well. I mean, that's how I know what these targets are. People can guess what the target might be. I mean, you can use these, fib retracements, but when you create a chart based on previous previous lines where there's a lot of support and resistance, the way I create these fib channel charts, I know where the targets are above, and that's why I created this method of charting in the first place, because I wanted to know where these targets were, where I could buy and sell. I don't use leverage trading, so all I do is I buy the dips. But you can see from this chart right here that if we drop down, obviously we're going to respect every single one of these lines in this fib channel. You see, as soon as we broke above this one, we had a pump. You see this line right here was support and resistance. So, we came down, we found support here, we pushed up, we found support here. If we push up, we could get rejected around 9,167 before coming back down. Usually, if we're already in a downtrend and we're moving down, if you keep testing it, eventually you're going to break it. So, I'll set an alert on TradingView to when we get right to this point, and I'll buy here, ride it up until the point it stops, take my profit, and it is possible it drops down below it. It always is kind of a gamble sometimes, but I think this is the better way to play it, because chances are it will find support and push back up, and you can use look at previous price. Always look left at previous price action to get an idea. But if it does drop down below, then you go ahead and sell. You might lose a little bit, but chances are on the next one it will push up and you'll get that profit back plus some. That's how I play this on the way down. Again, this was the Binance chart, and again, this fib circle, as you can see, this fib circle was a lot of support and resistance. A lot of support and resistance. So, another, not just the fib channel lines, but watch this ring as well as a potential point for support, and if we break it, potentially have a drop. This is the Coinbase chart. You can see that same thing. We got rejected here, found support, came up. We pushed above. I didn't have any targets above this. This is where we topped out that red ring. But you see we pushed up, found resistance, came down. We came down below. Again, reference other charts, because there are charts that have this point where we found support. We see we pushed up, we came back down, found support, we pushed back up. So if we push up higher, possibly 9,025 get rejected, or we could be in a pattern. You could draw a trend line, something like this. Again, you have to watch how it plays out, but at least you know that these are support levels. You know that this is going to be support. If we drop past 8,718, your next, and that's why I have this alert right here, because I want to know when we drop to this point, because I'm going to buy right here. This is support and resistance. So I know when we drop to this point, we'll potentially catch a bounce to move back up. And then same thing, you can see even these lines going up at an angle. This potentially be support. This one we just pushed right through, so I would ignore this one. That's why I say look at previous lines. You can see that this line here was a lot of resistance. So if we drop down to this point, right here I would expect a pretty good bounce, at least pushing us back up to this point or potentially this point before coming back down. Again, I'm just showing you how I play these on the way down. This is that ring I referenced in that video, since once we pushed above it, we could potentially get a pump. So of course, this will also be support as well. This is one of the Bitstamp charts. This is the Bitstamp A chart. You can see price has been respecting this, and this is what I just said on that last chart. While that previous chart did give you support and resistance for you know, where we dropped right here, this chart actually shows you where we bottomed right here. So you know, this would be another chart. You know, again, if you can have multiple charts open, it's beneficial. That's what I do. I'll have like 3 or 4 charts open. So, you know, some charts will give you targets. You know, if you hit it right to the tick and you start pushing up, you know, that's a point to buy in, write it up. And then other charts will show you these, like this, where we dropped right here. And again, this chart right here, the Bitstamp chart, showed where we topped out. So price is respecting not only the fib channel lines, but the fib circles as well. This is the BitMex chart. You know, this doesn't really give us much in the way of, you know, exact targets, you know, for smaller targets here, but you can see that on the more macro scale, and I apologize, there's a lot on this chart, but this line right here has been a lot of support and resistance. So you know for a fact that if we drop down, because this line has played such a role, if we drop down, you can expect to at least get a bounce, you know, between 8,465. If we're further out here, potentially 8,601. And you know, some of these rings, you know, rings always play out differently. You can see we came down a little bit, pushed up. You know, right here, you hardly even tell. You can tell not much happened at this ring, but you know, we eventually, when we crossed it, we started pushing up. So that's why it's always important to pay attention to these rings. It's possible you cross this ring and then something could happen. It could push us up, push us down. But I would pay attention to this ring. This is pretty good ways off. This is May 6th. But the point of what I'm showing you here is you can use these charts to play it on the way down. You wait till you hit support. You take a chance that it'll go back up. And again, if you go back and look at how well price has been respecting it, when you know that one line has a lot of support and a lot of resistance, it can, at least it makes me feel more comfortable buying at that point to catch a bounce. You know, if a line has less support and resistance going back, then you know, I might be more cautious at buying at that point. Let's see here. This is the Bitstamp. This is another Bitstamp chart. Again, this is showing you that there's a lot of resistance here, so you could potentially pushing back down here to 8,516. You can see this was a lot of resistance, so this could be a potential bounce point. Basically, all of these lines are nailing price action. So this is the Bitstamp B chart. So again, pay attention to these charts, guys. This is the Bybit chart. You can see we've been riding up this blue ring, so I'd pay attention to this blue ring for possible pivot point. This here is a Kraken chart. In that last video, I added this fib circle. I decided to go ahead and save it with this fib circle in just to see how price respected it. This is where, you know, I said this is already played out. I created this fib circle after the fact. You see, when we crossed this ring, we had a pump. You know, this had already taken place, but I just wanted to see if we would get resistance at this ring. And yes, we did push above it, but you can see we came back down and we're finding resistance under this ring. So this ring could be in play. So watch to see if we potentially stay under this ring. If we do break above it, we could get a pump. This is the Bitcoin bubble chart, guys. I forgot to save it last time with this last ring, so I did turn that ring on, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn this ring on too, just so we have that, because it is possible that and like I said in that previous video, if we come out and, you know, we have a drop, we have been respecting this yellow fib circle right here, going all the way back since, well, actually we've been riding up it since February 3rd, 2019. See, we crossed it, we had a series of drops. As soon as we, you know, approached this ring, we moved up. You know, we came up a bit, we came down, we found support on it. We're still riding up it. So at some point we're going to cross this. You know, it's possible we could push up a little higher, or we could just cross it, go sideways, and then drop, and then potentially you could find support, ride it up a bit before you cross and have another drop. But yeah, I just wanted to go over these. But again, guys, you know, if you are subscribed, check out the Discord, and if you do want to access these charts, again, the link for the chart, or my website will be in the description. It's opticalartcrypto.com, and follow me on Twitter. It's opticalartchart. Both these links will be in the description. And yeah, guys, I need to get to work on that tutorial. So I'm going to be creating an XRP chart, and I'll be creating a Bitcoin chart showing how to create the FIB channels. These FIB channel charts right here. And then I will add rings so we can find potential pivot points. I'll have that in the tutorial. But then I'll have another tutorial where, you know, anybody that does not have access to the tutorials will at least be able to see that one tutorial adding FIB circles, because I like the community to help out and send charts that they, you know, what they find with these FIB circles. But guys, that's it. I'll be updating these charts to see what I can find. And you know, if you want to, if you follow me on Twitter or part of the Discord and you see something, you know, make me aware of it, because you know, I might miss something that you guys might find. So point that out to me. I really appreciate it. Guys, trade safe, and you know, when I find something, I will let you know. That's it. Till the next video.